Hello everyone and welcome back to our next day of Bronzong Tyrantrum. We've been doing regular, I would guess, with this deck. We've gone one-on-one in both days, in English and Spanish. And the deck's not running as swiftly as I would like it to. I made some changes to the deck. I added Hydreigon, I added Floatstones, and I took out the Hex Maniac. And all the changes you can see down below in the description of the video. The list is always posted there, so be sure to keep an eye out on that. It's always up to date to the one I'm using on the video. And wow, my opponent is just taking such a long time to select. Anyways, this new UI, I still don't like it. I'm getting used to it, but that hardly means I like it. And okay, we're off to an okay start. We're up against a fighting deck. Could be Groudon, could be Lucario Bats. It's actually Machamp, Ariados, I would guess. So I'm not entirely sure how I fare against this deck, but powering up Tyrantrums and getting back-to-back one-hit KOs on Machamp will be very important, and preventing one-hit KOs from Machamp itself. KOing Ariados is also pretty huge in this match. Now I'm gonna level ball, try to get my Bronzors out. The 3-3 line is available to me, which is great. I will be getting rid of a lot of supporters here, unfortunately, but I don't think I have a choice. Do I want to get rid of the metal energy actually? I don't think so. Gonna get rid of these two, and I might as well attach it to something. What do I get here though? Do I get Tyrantrum right away? I think that's the best play here. And I'm gonna get rid of some metal energy so that I can Metal Links and potentially the AC. I think I lost a game because I didn't get rid of AC. I will have pretty much every other useful supporter in my discard pile, so I shouldn't be too worried about that. Could also get rid of just all metal energy, which I'm very tempted to do right now. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yep, gonna get rid of a third metal energy here. Just because I can. Just because I have Metal Links, there's still a ton of energy I could draw in order to use my attachments for the turn. And look at that, I even draw 3 more energy. Which is obviously not ideal, especially with the fact that I have Sycamore in my hand. So I'm gonna pass here, not much else I can do. I could potentially wait for Bronzor to get KO'd, and then Versus Seeker, Lysander, and KO the Machamp. But as long as Ariados isn't in play, I'm not too threatened by Machamp. It can do a lot of damage with strong energies and muscle bands and fighting stadiums, but I will be one-hit KOing, so the Sting Mad attack won't be relevant. And if I do attack, I will be taking a one-hit KO. So what I really need is to prevent Machamp, or rather Ariados, from causing havoc by either removing the Ariados from play or removing the only Machamp that's powered up. It all depends on energy on the field, and my opponent even whiffs an energy attachment, so that's pretty amazing for us. I don't think I'm gonna get out Tyrantrum this turn, so I'm gonna attach the fighting instead of the double dragon energy. I'm gonna conserve that, and I have to birch my hand away because I can't afford to discard all of this with Sycamore. I unfortunately flip tails, but I do draw nicely out of it. Gonna get rid of Aegislash. I don't think it'll be that important here. Gonna keep the Sycamore in hand for next turn, but I will get Shame in here. Shaman can get me Bronzongs, can get me a switch. I could potentially get something else so that I can start powering up as well. I do get a Bronzor and an Ultra Ball, so I could easily bench this guy, Ultra Ball these two, or the yikes. I think I want to get rid of the Lysander. Yep, Sycamore and Lysander. What my opponent gets, I could also get the second Shaman here and draw a few more cards, which is what I'm going to do instead. I am limiting my bench greatly, but I can draw my stadium as well, which is exactly what I get. No Bronzongs, unfortunately, but I do have the Float Stone and I can pull off the KO on my champ next turn. So with the fact that my opponent didn't attach an energy, I'm pretty content with the position I'm in. I don't play the Skyfield just because usually players, when they get the Fighting Stadium or when they get a stadium, they play it right away. And I'm only running two stadiums, so the more I wait to play them, the better. There's a Fighting Stadium, see? It doesn't help him right now, but he will thin out his hand a bit, and he is going to Shana here, trying to get more energy, trying to get Ariados out, and that means I can counter the stadium right away. Fortunately, he attaches to Landorus. I thought he wasn't going to be able to attach to Machamp, but he does get a Battle Compressor, which means he can get energy into the discard pile, a Sycamore, which tells me he probably has a Versus Seeker in his hand, and he doesn't take a KO on Bronzor, but he powers up Machamp. There's no other Pokemon in play as of yet that can threaten me, so I'm going to go for the KO on the Machamp right now. I do realize I will be left pretty weak for next turn. I have no guarantees of a supporter. I'm hoping I draw it off of my prices, draw something useful. But I think it's a good play that will put me quite a bit ahead, just because he doesn't have anything else. And getting rid of the double dragon energy isn't too problematic. I get the one hit KO, I'll be up 2 prizes, and I do have the fighting energy still in order to cover for the attack costs, which is pretty great. I am going to get 2 prizes, a muscle band and a Sycamore. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Next turn I could potentially draw a switch. I could potentially draw an AC. I could simply retreat. So that price definitely helps us set up for the mid game, for a strong mid game. Our deck is pretty low, so we should be getting our other attackers pretty soon. He has no energy in play that threatens us. He attaches to the Dene, which is fine. He's probably going to get Machamp out. Yep, he's using Entrainment, which gets you 2 basic Pokemon and puts them on your bench. And look at the animation. The Den is all ready to attack my Tyrantrum, but little does it know that, yeah, he gets another Spinarak and a single Machamp, which I think is a mistake. I get the AC here, so I'm tempted to just AC Shaman. Although, how many Versus Seekers? Just the one Versus Seeker. I think I can afford to discard it. Don't know who to attach here though. I think I do this. The Muscle Band is pretty relevant, although I could potentially get a KO with Shaman on a Spinarak, which could be important. So I'm going to Sycamore. Well, I haven't seen one Bronzong, and there's 3 in the deck. Still no Bronzong. There's 15 cards left, and 3 of them are Bronzongs. At least I'm going to get one out. Over here, Now, I don't think I want to take a KO right about now on the den by discarding 3 energy. That doesn't seem like a very good play. So, what I am going to do is still going to switch, I guess. Going to switch for Bronzor. Yeah, for Bronzor, which has a float stone. I am going to Metal Links, get the most out of my ability. It's unfortunate that we are down to 14 cards, and it's the first Bronzong we've seen, and I had to get it with level ball. But just gonna pass the turn here. I do have the KO on Machamp for next turn, and I could potentially just attach the DCE and discard a metal and the DCE. That would mean I'd be pretty set by just having to KO another Machamp. And the fact that my opponent doesn't have or hasn't shown any Lucarios or things like that, the den isn't a threat to me right now. So I'm pretty sure this game is going to come down to whenever I KO this other Machamp, I win. I do top deck the other Bronzong, which is pretty awesome. I can... Now, I am a bit worried about the den. Not too worried. Why does this keep doing this? Gosh. Is there a way to turn off the tips that this game gives you? Now, I will be susceptible to the den damaging me, but I really am not too worried about the den at this point in the game. I am going to retreat for free. I will bring up Tyrantrum. I will play my Versus Seeker. I get the Lysander. That means out of 13 cards, I still have access to 2 Versus Seekers for the Lysander for the win. And my opponent has no energy in play on Pokemon that could potentially threaten me. I am going to attach the TCE to this Tyrantrum. And I'm going to Dragon Impact, discard all 3 metal energy. 1, 2, 3. No need in discarding anything else. And I will take my 2 prizes. I could also potentially get a Versus Seeker off of my prizes, which is pretty awesome and would definitely seal the game here. I get the Battle Compressor, which is great in order to ensure we win pretty soon, if not next turn, but the turn afterwards, because I will thin out my deck of 3 cards that will not be Versus Seekers. And with a card that would put us at 10, plus a card I top deck that puts us at 9, and then I Sycamore. The Sycamore makes it so there's only 2 cards left in my deck, as long as one of them, as long as supposing 1 Versus Seeker is prized, I still have 2 double dragon energies left, and my opponent has to eventually attack with Machamp. He doesn't have anything that deals with Tyrantrum, and I even get the switch here. So what I can do is either switch out, power up Tyrantrum, and just wait. Gonna play the Battle Compressor, see how many Versus Seekers there are. There's 1 Versus Seeker, so 1 is prized. There's 2 double dragon energies, so I'm going to get rid of going to get rid of Aegislash. Yeah, Aegislash. The Birch. No, not the Birch. Just in case something goes wrong and I don't want to deck out. The Giratina. And the Floatstone. No, I think it's the Birch actually. Or the Hydreigon. I think the Hydreigon. So I wish I didn't have to discard the Muscle Band. If I want to take a KO right now, I need to draw Heatran and my last DCE. So I'm not going to attach. I'm just going to Sycamore. I'm pretty sure I have the game won, no matter what. There's the Versus Seeker, there's Heatran, there's the DCE, so I drew absolutely everything I could have possibly wanted. Going to Metal Links twice onto Heatran, take a KO on that Landorus, and force my opponent to attack with Machamp. Then Tyrantrum comes back out, and even if he KOs this Tyrantrum with a Lysander, the other Tyrantrum just comes up and takes the KO. Seeing my hand, the only thing my opponent could potentially do is use Judge or something, but given the size of my deck plus my hand, even doing the Judge won't prevent me from winning the game. So I'm just gonna Steam Blast here. This game is 100% won. Absolutely 100% won. There is no way I lose this game. Not by decking, not by whiffing on KOs, not by anything. There is no way I lose this game. Absolutely no way. I guess he could N. If he got N and Catcher, if he end me down to 1 and I top the Giratina and then on Ultra Ball, that would make him win, but there's no N in the format anymore. And he doesn't even have Ariados in play. So my opponent's poor draw probably was the thing that made him lose, or made this battle so one-sided, because as you can see, he still has 6 prizes to go. I'm down to 1 prize. Guess my opponent is just having fun right now. He's gonna attach. Doesn't even KO Heatran yet. There's a Lysander. That's fine. I can even Versus Seeker AC. He Lysanders up the Bronzong that has the Float Stone though, and doesn't even KO it. So, having seen that, I'm simply going to attach the Double Dragon Energy. I'm going to retreat the Bronzong for the Tyrantrum and take the third consecutive, not consecutive, but the third KO with this Tyrantrum, which was clearly the MVP of the match. And being able to one-hit KO Pokemon EX like this, it's pretty much invaluable. It really is. It's amazing to be able to do that. We win the first match, and let's find another one. Yeah, my opponent definitely had bad luck because he never got Ariados out, but I also made sure I had control over what he powered up, what was threatening and all of that. And I knew as long as I targeted whatever had energy, I would have been fine. So I lose the flip again. I've only started 1 game this week. That's 1 out of 5 games I've gone second, or first rather. I start off with an okay-ish hand. I do like Aegislash a lot, but I think it's so common that decks are so prepared for it that it's really lost a lot of effectiveness. I think potentially Dialga-EX might be more useful. Like, I've never been in a position where Aegislash just walls my opponent, you know? Okay, now we're up against a Psychic type deck. He can use Close Encounter as it bypasses the first turn rule. I do top deck the Sycamore here. I honestly don't know what my opponent's deck is yet. Could be Lucario, it could be Wobbuffet. Going to play Shaman down. I want something to play down the Floatstone on, but I probably draw the 2 worst possible cards out of a Shaman. Going to use the second Shaman anyways. More cards I do not want to see. I'm not going to attacking this turn, so it's fine if I leave the Shaman with the Floatstone as the active Pokemon, and I just Sycamore away 1 Bronzong, unfortunately. Something you never want to do if you can help it. And we're pretty badly stuck for next turn. No DCEs to use Shaman, no supporters, no Versus Seekers. I do have Giratina, but I don't know how useful that will be. I can use Battle Compressor to get some energy into play, thin out my deck from cards that aren't supporters. Gonna check how many Bronzong there are left. I'm guessing one Bronzong is priced. Yep, one Bronzong is priced, of course, and I was forced to discard the other. I'm going to put a Lysander in the discard pile, just so that I can access it with Versus Seeker, just in case. And what else would I want to discard here? I don't think Giratina will be useful, seeing what my opponent is using so far. But you never know. I'm gonna just get rid of another Metal Energy and be done with that. I have a lot of energy in my hand, so attaching won't be an issue here. The bigger issue will be getting out of this bad situation and the fact that we only have one Bronzer in play. It's actually a Mega Mewtwo deck. So Giratina, I take it back. It's going to be incredibly useful unless it's a Mega Mewtwo Y version, which there is a chance of that. Or Mega Mewtwo EX rather. Mega Mewtwo X EX rather. That's the deck I used last week and I really enjoyed it, especially because it does have outs to Giratina and all of that. But seeing all Psychic Energy leads me to believe it's the other one. I have no guarantees of that, but that's what I'm being led to believe. Gonna attach the Double Dragon Energy to Giratina because there's definitely a Mega Pokemon from my opponent's side of the field. Gonna play the Skyfield, and I'm going to get rid of these two cards. I don't like getting rid of the Fighting Energy, but I don't really have a choice here. And Giratina might be more important than Tyrantrum here. I do get the level ball, so I'm definitely getting Bronzong out, because that means my opponent has a harder time KOing it with Crobat drops. I am going to Metal Links onto Giratina because I want to save this Double Dragon for either a second Giratina or potentially for Tyrantrum. And I'm just gonna pass a turn here. I can't attack just yet. The Axis has 110 HP plus the Heart Charm. Even with a Muscle Band I can't KO, which is unfortunate. Damage change could be problematic. If I damage Mewtwo EX, my opponent counters my Skyfield, that is fine. Plays down Golbat, and yeah, Mega Mewtwo Y Golbat makes the most sense. He attacks Tyrantrum though, which is interesting. Even after he sees me power up Giratina. So I top deck another Double Dragon Energy. I'm going to get rid of the AC. I'm going to get rid of the Judge. And I'm going to get rid of another Metal Energy. Yep. I just want to make sure I can always Metal Link on every single turn. There's the Metal Links onto Tyrantrum, and now what I will be doing is attaching the Double Dragon Energy onto Tyrantrum. I can KO this Mewtwo next turn if it doesn't Mega Evolve. I'm going to attach the Float Stone onto Tyrantrum, and I'm just gonna pass here. I'm going to wait it out. I have the Lysander in my hand. If I can Lysander that Mewtwo, that will pretty much be game for my opponent. He'll have a very hard time recovering from that. I guess his only way of KOing or hitting rather Giratina is through Hex Maniac, which is definitely an option for my opponent, but it doesn't look like he's drawing too well right now. We'll see. I have seen Mega Mewtwo Y played, but with Bronzong, in order to pile up the energy, as it doesn't really require Psychic Energy. My opponent is thinking for a long time, and oh, I thought I had the victory, but no, it's just the inactive thingy. He Lysanders up the Aegislash, which is unfortunate. That definitely delays me a turn. And that still doesn't prevent the KO, but he does get 2 cards for pretty much free. I don't want to get rid of these cards now, so I'm going to play the Birch. I can draw a TCE, which I don't. I could draw a Versus Seeker for the AC, which I don't either. I'm going to Metal Links onto Tyrantrum, and I just have to wait for my switch here, or a TCE. I will Sycamore next turn. Thankfully, I won't be needing more than 1 Bronzong this game, but there is a potential for him to Mega Evolve next turn, which is unfortunate. He has a hard charm rather than a Mewtwo Spirit Link. So I don't know, perhaps he doesn't have a Mega Pokemon. Perhaps he's just waiting out. Now there is the Mega Mewtwo. He is going to Mega Evolve. The hard charm makes it so that even with a Muscle Band I couldn't take a KO with Tyrantrum, but now he's completely walled by Giratina. So after this Ultra Ball and Sycamore, I'm going to be more conservative with what I play, because my deck will be pretty low, but I should get a double colorless by now. Yeah, there it is. There's 2 of them. So I'm going to attach, and I'm going to Metal Links onto Giratina. That will force my opponent to use this Mewtwo to attack, and once he does, I simply bring up Tyrantrum, and then I then take the KO, which is perfectly fine. So it'll be a very slow and steady game for us, but I should have this in the end. My opponent is having terrible luck in terms of draw. He retreats. He's going to Lysander up the Tyrantrum, Psychic Infinities for the KO, which is unfortunate. So he was wow, he had 2 cards in hand. That's very unfortunate, but it happens. Aegislash is going to be 100% useless here, and that's fine. We're still okay here. I just Metal Links onto Tyrantrum once again. There's 2 double Dragon Energy still left in the deck. I don't want to attach the DCE though, because Psychic Infinity does a lot of damage. He has 2 energy, I had 3, so that did 150 damage, or I had 4 energy rather, didn't I? Yep, I had 4 energy, so that was a mistake on my part. There's 9 cards left in my deck. What I could do is Lysander up this Mewtwo, although that would be a bad idea because he could simply damage change the damage. So I'm not gonna do that. Just gonna Chaos Wheel here. No threat from my opponent. It will be a 3-hit KO. So I am a bit worried about decking out, but not too much. Now he gets the Versus Seeker. He's going to be able to Lysander again if he wants. He goes for Birch though. Does he even have a Sycamore? He doesn't. He's only at Lysander. He does 22 Tyrantrum. He recognizes Tyrantrum is a bigger threat. So I really wish I could... Okay, Escape Rope. I don't think there's a threat. What has... does this have a Floatstone? No, that's a Muscle Band. I only have... Oh yeah, the Muscle Band... The Floatstone was on the Tyrantrum. So I'm just gonna promote Shaman. No risk of doing that, I believe. He's going to draw 2 more cards. That's perfectly fine. I just need to eventually top deck a double Dragon Energy. Now I could take a KO with Shaman right now. That would free up a bench space, which seems pretty important. Oh, should have done it with this Shaman. Ugh, I'm so dumb. That was a bad play. These stupid symbols from the new UI. I would never have made that mistake with the previous UI. All I had to do was attach the DC and Muscle Band to this Shaman, because I would have seen the Floatstone, but this, that thing, it's just not useful. I'm gonna take the KO into Oxys. I don't see a point in attacking Mega Mewtwo, or perhaps I should. I actually think I should here. I'm gonna go after the Mewtwo EX. That's the big threat here. So I'm going to retreat. That energy is going to be such a waste, and it might even cost me at some point. There's 80 more damage. Now this Mewtwo is very threatened. If he wants to do something else, he has to retreat. He's only played one versus Seeker though, so he can potentially play more versus Seekers. Oh, and he's using the Parallel City here. Wow. He goes for Crobat. Damages Tyrantrum, so he could have the Lysander right now with a Versus Seeker. No, but no, he doesn't. He simply Sycamores his hand away. And he's also using Artillery here. So a lot of utility for my opponent. He probably does have the Versus Seeker for next turn. Thankfully, I have the Versus Seeker myself in order to make sure that if this Mewtwo retreats, which he probably should, it'll get KO'd. He can't play any more Spirit Links. He can't. He will have to waste a turn Mega Evolving, and whenever this Mewtwo comes out to play, I'll simply take the KO with Tyrantrum. I might have to overextend though in order to KO it. Okay, he does retreat and attaches to Mega Mewtwo, which is great because I can Versus Seeker and KO it. It's only my second Versus Seeker, so I'll still have 2 left in order to target down this Mewtwo. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to think about it too much. I need to draw some prizes for sure, because I am down to 7 cards in my deck. And Mega Mewtwo is the only thing threatening my Tyrantrums. So Giratina handles the Mega, Tyrantrum handles anything that's not Mega, and that should be enough to win me the game. That's 2 prizes, a Bronzong and a Heatran. Heatran won't be very useful this game. Really wish I had done the Shaman play though. I really wish I had. I'd have a free space for Metal Links, which I'm not even using. My opponent's Super Rods. How many Metal Energy do I have? Just 1 in the discard. This is a very slow and methodical game, and we're already over half an hour, and it's only the first video, and I need to record so many videos today. I hate this new UI, but I can't cut down to 1 game per video. I really can't, because that won't showcase anything about the deck, not one thing. Now, I am in a bit of trouble if my opponent... Okay, never mind, he Mega Evolves, so Tyrantrum is perfectly fine staying put. Now the threat is my opponent using Lysander twice in order to take KOs. That's a bigger threat now. So, with that in mind, this guy has 210 HP actually, so Tyrantrum can actually deal with it pretty easily. I'm going to KO's Wheel, take the KO. Still no tools for my opponent. What I need is a Versus Seeker or a Double Dragon Energy or something. I'm pretty stuck, and I obviously can't use Sycamore or else I'll lose. And in my deck there's, out of 6 cards, there's potentially 2 Versus Seekers and 2 Lysanders. My opponent is going to KO 30 damage. That's 130 damage, which is exactly the amount he needs to KO Tyrantrum. I wish I had held on to that muscle band so that I could 2-hit KO this Mega Mewtwo. That was another mistake on my part. But what I can do here is take 1 KO or 1 attack with Giratina and power up Aegislash. And I could... no, it's not gonna be enough. I would need another Metal Energy. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So now my opponent is down. Was that a Versus Seeker or simply a 3rd Lysander? So he runs 3 Lysander. And if he runs 4 Versus Seeker, pretty sure he wins next turn. And I get the Versus Seeker now. Not useful at all. Gonna get the Bronzer out. Doesn't really matter. Pretty sure my opponent just Versus Seekers and wins. There's no way I can prevent that. I mean, I could by attacking with Shaman, but there's no point. There really is no point. Should I play to my strengths, I guess? I am going to 3 KO anyways, so I might as well, right? Going to retreat. That will let him get rid of the luck for a bit. I will do Sky Return for 30 damage. I am scared of the 4 cards though. I definitely could have charged this turn. Going to promote Bronzong just because I resist Mewtwo and I have the Floatstone in my hand. If he Lysanders up Aegislash, that's fine. If he Lysanders up the Shaman, that's fine, he doesn't KO either. If he Lysanders up Giratina, of course he doesn't win. What he could do is KO both Bronzong and Bronzor through Crobat drops. That is also a possibility for him. If he does that, I could potentially AC. Yeah, there's the Crobat, so he does have a KO on this Bronzong if he wants. But no, he goes after Shaman and he has a Versus Seeker. Ugh. So that's game. I thought I had this game won, but he got the Lysanders on my threatening Pokemon first before I could get the Lysanders onto his Pokemon. That's very unfortunate, but it happens. I think in a best of 3, in a bit more I don't know, average scenario, I should have the advantage with that deck, but hey, what are you gonna do? That's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in Spanish or on Friday in English for the rest of the week with this Bronzong Tyrantrum deck. We are 3-3 so far, so not doing too hot, but we're exploring all our options. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.